The Dallas Cowboys have a star in the Marvin Overon, and we're going to get into why he is huge alongside Eric Kendricks for the 2024 Cowboys defense. Let's get to it. What is up, everyone, and welcome into A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. I am your host, Mauricio Rodriguez, streaming with you live every Sunday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central, and catching up with you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with quick hitting videos such as this one. Monday, after the first win of the season for the Cowboys, they beat the Browns 33-17, and the talk the morning after has been mostly the same as it was last night, which is, holy smokes, the Mike Zimmer defense looks pretty damn good. And one of the biggest reasons why that has to do with second-year linebacker, the Marvin Overon, who got his first regular season action on Sunday against the Brownies and had such an amazing game. And man, when the numbers started coming out and the game film started coming out, that just drove the point home entirely. Here are some numbers for you guys. He had 2 pass rush snaps, had 2 pressures, 1 sack. He was the highest graded pass rusher per Pro Football Focus. Again, only 2 snaps, but still, when he did rush the passer, best player on the Cowboys yesterday. Third in run defense. He led the NFL, the Cowboys, by the way, in stops, had 6 of them. 5 of them were in coverage, but he had 1 stop versus the run. And he was the second best player on the Cowboys in coverage. So you are talking about a player that in PFF grade led the Cowboys in pass rush, was 3rd best as a run defender, 2nd best in coverage. And by the way, he did allow some catches in coverage, but all of them, like he had 7 targets, 7 catches, allowed 71 yards technically. But you watch the film, you take the context into consideration, he had 5 stops in coverage. The Marvin Overon was flying everywhere, and as I'm sure you know by now, we talked about the flashy stuff yesterday when we were recapping the game. We talked about him going from the backside to the plate side and outrunning Nick Vigil, who is to the play side at the beginning of the play, outrunning Micah Parsons and just flying all over the place, making tackles, making big hits. But when you look at the film, even the non-cute stuff, right? Even the not flashy plays, and there was one that I have in mind right now, he looked like such a solid defender. And I think you could see why the Cowboys defense might truly be different in 2024. Early in the game, first quarter, there is a play where the Browns run to the left, and the Marvin Overon is to that side of the formation. So he's the play side linebacker. They run to the left, and they have the backside guard pulling to lead the way and be that lead blocker for the running back. Well, Overon immediately, and he's on the play side, right? So the guard is coming from the other side of the field, immediately catches what the Browns are trying to do, and he just goes to crash that offensive line. Like, he goes to just take a big hit on him. And by the way, he generates movement at the point of attack. Obviously, he's coming from depth, so that makes some sense. But like, you didn't have that sort of strength last year on your Cowboys linebacker. Overon is not only fast, which I think everyone is talking about this Monday, he's also a powerful backer that can be a problem for offensive linemen who are pulling, right? Because combined with the speed, he's a problem. So anyways, Overon crashes that offensive lineman, takes him on, and that paves the way for Eric Kendricks to make the tackle. But what I really like about this specific play and why I think it's very meaningful for the Cowboys moving forward is you see Kendricks kind of like do this thing where he flows with the play, but also stays in position to guard for the cutback. And when he realizes the cutback is not coming, then he just shoots the trigger, right? He just goes right to the player who is pretty much, you know, like Overon serves him in a silver platter because he took on the pulling lineman. So Kendricks, all that he needs to do is just shed the block from I think it's the center at that point of the play, and then just go to the running back, the ball carrier, completely untouched almost. Kendricks makes the tackle. But just to recap here, you got one linebacker immediately identifying what's going on, taking on a pulling offensive lineman and doing it with success, and then you have another linebacker just identify what is going on, take it slow, but once he is sure, he just runs to the vault carrier, makes the tackle. This is the big thing. The Cowboys are doing this from a light box. So they have 4 defensive linemen, they have 2 linebackers, they have 2 high safeties. They are not loading the box to stop the run, which was almost unheard of during the 3 years that Dan Quinn was coaching the Cowboys defense. Because if you think about it, sure, the Cowboys might have had some good numbers against the run, but every time they needed to load the box, they needed the numbers. Now you've got 2 linebackers that can read, that can identify, that can take on pulling linemen like Overon does in this particular play that I'm talking about, that I wish I had a video for, but I don't have the old 22 version that I can record for you, so I owe that to you maybe tomorrow night or whenever. But the Cowboys can do this. I tweeted the clip, by the way, if you are interested in checking that out, at MAU NFL. That's MAU NFL. But my big point here is if the Cowboys can really defend the run, I think, from light boxes, and that means that when you need to help out your cornerback, Kalen Carson, because he's a 5th-round rookie starting in week 1, you can do so, because you can have those 2 safeties up there. You can rotate. You can do whatever you want, because your linebackers and your defensive line can take care of the job underneath. I think that's pretty good for the Cowboys. That is one of the most promising developments from week 1, and I'm excited to see more. People are excited about the Marvin Overon. They should be. I think he's looking like a star already. I think there was some questions about whether or not he was going to be starting. Seemed like Damon Clark might be the guy alongside Eric Kendricks. Then we saw the unofficial depth chart, and Overon was behind Marius Leofau. Michael McCarthy said he approved that. Of course, he maybe just didn't care about Leofau being listed above Overon. Now we know, though, Mike Zimmer sees the Marvin Overon as he's starting linebacker alongside Kendricks. And we can talk about one being the wheel, one being the sand. We can talk about all that. At the end of the day, this is an 11 personnel league. Most of the time, there will only be 2 linebackers on the field, and it is going to be Kendricks. It is going to be Overon. Now, before we get out of here, ladies and gentlemen, I'll turn the page. We'll talk about something else. Jake Ferguson is said to have a sprained MCL. His ACL is seemingly intact. And additionally, we are talking about somebody that could play week 2 versus the New Orleans Saints. Because according to Mike McCarthy on today's press conference, he is going to be working with the return to game day group on Wednesday. So he's not ruling Jake Ferguson out. It's a sprained MCL. I would be surprised if the Cowboys play him on Sunday. Personally, that's just speculation on my end, because I'm imagining that the Cowboys will be taking it easy with them, just being cautious. And the Saints aren't particularly a scary rival. But anyways, my point here is Ferguson might play. If he doesn't play, I'm going to give you 3 players to watch. Obviously, we could do Jalen Tolbert, and I did for AtoZSports.com, because he's the number 3 wide receiver. So if we're speaking about targets in the passing game, Jalen Tolbert is a part of this conversation. At tight end, however, the coaches entered an intriguing name into the conversation. Obviously, you have Luke Schoonmaker, who is the number 2 tight end of the team and has, you could say, an edge because he's been on the system for 2 years now, actually playing it. So it would make sense for Luke Schoonmaker to be the favorite to replace Ferguson if it comes to that. But also John Stephens Jr. didn't play because of a hamstring injury. We've heard Mike McCarthy be very optimistic about Stephens, though. He talked about improved inline blocking. They clearly like him as a pass catcher. He can line up pretty much everywhere on the field. We've seen Stephens Jr. line up as an out wide receiver. So he has that versatility, big target in the red zone. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephens Jr. ends up getting more reps than Schoonmaker in week 2, honestly, as long as he is healthy. But the coaches mentioned Hunter Lipke. Now, remember, Hunter Lipke is one guy that, hey, fullback, but who played a lot of tight end snaps when Ferguson exited the game on Sunday? It was Hunter Lipke. We are Team Weaponized Hunter here on A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. We might see a whole lot more of that. So be in the lookout for Hunter Lipke, because I think that is going to be a big part of this equation, if you will. But anyways, we will wait. Maybe on Wednesday we get some positive news on Jake Ferguson. He might even play. Who knows? In the meantime, though, do me a favor. Hit the like button for me if you enjoyed the show. I will see you tomorrow here on A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime. Have a good one. Bye-bye.